Good evening. Thank you for coming out to the Wichita Shakespeare Company and our production of Cymbeline. My name is Don Schuster. I'm the director of tonight's show. I'm also one of the actors that you're going to see in the show tonight. Our show will begin here in just a minute, but before it does, we just have a couple of announcements. First of all, Wichita Shakespeare Company is a 501c3 not-for-profit, so we survive on the donations we receive from our audiences. So if you're interested in helping us out, there is a donation table back there. Also, if you perhaps didn't get a program, they're back there as well. And so any donations you give will go towards our further seasons. We do have our 2014 season picked out. In June, we're going to be doing Love's Labor's Lost, which will be directed by Michael Weber, who was one of our actors in the June show that we did this year, Two Gentlemen of Verona. And then in September, we're going to be doing our first history play we've done in a very long time, King John, and I'll be directing that one, so that'll be in September. So we hope you can come back for those shows. We'll get the dates up on our website as soon as we have them. We just know that June will be Love's Labor's Lost and September will be King John. We just don't have the specific parks and dates yet. So keep an eye on our website, and we'll have those up there. Tonight's show is Cymbeline, which is one of the late plays of Shakespeare. It's written around the time of The Tempest, which we did a couple years ago. Cymbeline is an odd play, just to be. It's kind of like a storybook tale come to life. So it's a lot like if you think of Hamlet maybe being the Citizen Kane of Shakespeare plays. Cymbeline's kind of like the Princess Bride of Shakespeare plays. So, you know, both good movies, but in totally different ways. So that's kind of a way to think about Cymbeline. So I think if you think of it as a storybook tale being brought to life for you, I think you'll be pretty far along into kind of enjoying this play. There's 7 of us in the show, and we're going to bring about 30 characters to life for you tonight. So we hope you enjoy Cymbeline.
During the time of Augustus Caesar, Emperor of Rome, there reigned in Britain a king whose name was Cymbeline.
Cymbeline's first wife died when his 3 children were very young.
Imogen, the only daughter, was brought up in her father's court.
But by a strange chance, the 2 sons of Cymbeline were stolen out of their nursery.
When the eldest was but 3 years of age,
and the youngest quite an infant,
Cymbeline was never able to discover what had become of them,
or by whom they were conveyed away.
Cymbeline was twice married.
His second wife was a wicked, plotting woman, an evil stepmother to her stepdaughter, Imogen. The queen, though she hated Imogen, wished her to marry a son from her former husband.
For by this means she hoped upon the death of Cymbeline to place the crown of Britain upon the head of her son, Cloten.
The queen knew that if the sons were never found, the Princess Imogen must be made the king's heir.
But this design was prevented by Imogen herself, who married without the knowledge or consent of her father or the queen.
Posthumus Leonatus, for that was the name of Imogen's husband, was the best scholar and most accomplished gentleman of that age. His father died fighting in the wars for Cymbeline, and his mother died giving birth to him.
Cymbeline, pitying the helpless state of the low-born orphan, took in Posthumus and educated him in his own court.
Imogen and Posthumus were both taught by the same masters and were playfellows from their infancy.
They loved each other tenderly when they were children.
And their affection continuing to increase with their age.
When they grew up, they secretly married.
The disappointed queen soon learned this secret, for she kept spies constantly in watch over the actions of her stepdaughter. She immediately told the king of the marriage of Imogen with Posthumus.
Nothing could exceed the wrath of Cymbeline when he heard that his daughter had been so forgetful of her dignity as to marry a lowly subject. He commanded Posthumus to leave Britain and banished him his native country forever.
The queen, pretending to pity Imogen, the grief she felt at losing her husband, procured a private meeting for them before Posthumus's banishment. No, be assured, daughter, you shall not find me, after the slander of other stepmothers, evil-eyed unto you. You are my prisoner, but your jailer shall deliver unto you the keys that lock up your restraint. For you, Posthumus, so soon as I can win the offended king, I will be your advocate. Mary, the fire of rage is still in him, and 'twere best you leaned unto his punishment with what patience your wisdom would allow.
Please, your highness, I will from hence today.
You know the peril. I'll fetch a turn about the garden. pitying the pangs of barred affection. Though the king hath charged, you should not speak together.
Oh, dissembling courtesy! How fine this tyrant can tickle where she wounds! My dearest husband, I something fear my father's wrath. You must be gone, and I will here abide the hourly shot of angry eyes, not content to live, but that there is this jewel in the world I might see again.
My queen, my mistress. Oh, lady, weep no more lest you give me cause to be suspected of more tenderness than to become a man. I will remain the loyalest husband that did e'er plight troth. My residence in Rome, at one Philarios, to my father was a friend. Thither write, my queen, and with mine eyes I'll drink the words you send, though ink be made of gall.
Be brief, I pray you. If the king come, I shall incur I know not how much of his displeasure.
Look here, love. This diamond was my mother's. Take it, heart, but keep it till you woo another wife when Imogen is dead.
How? Another? Oh, you gentle gods, give me but this I have. And sear up these embracements from the next with bonds of death. Remain thou here while sense can keep it on. Oh, and sweetest, fairest, for my sake, wear this. It is a manacle of love. I'll place it upon this fairest prisoner.
Oh, the gods, when shall we see again?
Oh, alack, the king!
Thou basest thing, avoid hence from my sight. If, after this command, thou fraught the court with thy unworthiness, thou diest. Away, thou art poison to my blood.
The gods protect you, and bless the good remainders of the court. I am gone.
There cannot be a pinch in death more sharp than this is.
Oh, disloyal thing that shouldst repair my age, thou heapst a year's age on me.
I beseech you, sir, harm not yourself with your vexation. I am senseless of your wrath.
Past grace, obedience.
Past hope and in despair. That way past grace.
Thou mightst have had the sole son of my queen.
Lest that I might not, I chose an eagle and did avoid a put-off.
Thou tookst a beggar, wouldst have made my seat a throne, a seat for baseness.
No, I rather added a luster to it.
Oh, thou vile thing.
Sir, it is your fault that I have loved Posthumus. You raised him as my playfellow, and he is a man worth any woman, almost overbuys me the sum he pays.
What? Art thou mad?
Almost, sir. Heaven restore me. Would that I were a neatherd's daughter, and my Leonatus our neighbor shepherd's son.
Thou foolish thing. They were again together. You have not done after our command. Away with her and pen her up.
Beseech your patience. Peace, dear lady daughter, peace. Sweet sovereign, leave us to ourselves and make yourself some comfort out of your best advice.
Nay, let her languish, a drop of blood a day, and being aged, die of this folly.
Aye, you must give way. Here comes your servant. How now, sir? What news?
My lord, your son drew on my master.
Oh. No harm, I trust, is done.
There might have been, but that my master rather played than fought, and had no help of anger. They were parted by gentlemen at hand.
I'm very glad on't.
Your son's my father's friend. He takes his part to draw upon an exile. Why came you from your master?
On his command, he would not suffer me to bring him to the haven, left these notes of what commands I should be subject to, when it pleased you to employ me.
This hath been your faithful servant. And I dare lay mine honor he shall remain so.
I humbly thank your highness.
About some half hour hence, I pray you, speak with me. You'll at least go see my lord aboard. For this time, leave me. Imogen remained a solitary and dejected lady in her father's court.
Meanwhile, Posthumus, in his exile, traveled to Rome, to the inn of Philario, a longtime family friend.
Believe it, sir, I have seen him in Britain. He was then of a crescent note, expected to prove so worthy as since he hath been allowed the name of. I could then have looked on him without the aid of admiration, as though the catalogue of his endowments had been tabled by his side, and I to peruse him by items.
You speak of him when he was less furnished than now he is, with that which makes him both without and within.
I have seen him in France. We had many there could behold the sun with as fair eye as he.
This matter of marrying his king's daughter, wherein he must be weighed rather by her value than his own, words him, I doubt not, a great deal from the matter.
And then his banishment.
How comes it he is to sojourn with you?
His father and I were soldiers together, to whom I have been often bound for no less than my life. Let him be so entertained amongst you as suits with gentlemen of your knowing to a stranger of his quality. I beseech you all, be better known to this gentleman, whom I commend to you as a noble friend of mine. How worthy he is I should leave to appear hereafter, rather than story him in his own hearing.
Sir, we have known together in Orleans.
Since when I have been debtor to you for courtesies which I will ever to pay, and yet pay still.
Sir, you overrate my poor kindness. I was glad I could atone my countrymen and you. It would have been pity that you should be put together on so mortal a purpose under importance of so slight and trivial a nature.
By your pardon, sir, I was then a young traveler, but upon my mended judgment, if I offend, not to say it is mended, my quarrel was not altogether slight.
Can we with manners ask what was the difference?
Safely, I think. 'Twas a contention which may, without contradiction, suffer the report. 'Twas an argument in public in which we fell in praise, much like the other night, of our country mistresses. This gentleman, at that time, vouching his to be more fair, virtuous, wise, chaste, constantly qualified, and less attemptable than any the rarest of our ladies in France.
Oh, this lady is not now living, or this gentleman's opinion by this is worn out.
As she holds her virtue still, and I my mind.
Oh, you must not so prefer her for ours of Italy.
Being so far provoked as I was in France, I would abate her nothing, though I profess myself her adorer, not her friend.
Oh, as fair and as good, a kind of hand-in-hand comparison that is something too fair and too good for any lady in Britain. If she had gone before others that I have seen, as that diamond of yours outlusts many I have beheld, I could not but believe that she excelled many. But I have not seen the most precious diamond there is, nor you, the lady.
I praised her as I rated her, so do I my stone.
What do you esteem it at?
More than the world enjoys.
Either your unparagoned mistress is dead, or she is outprized by a trifle.
You are mistaken. The one may be sold or given if there were wealth enough for the purchase or merit for the gift. The other is not a thing for sale, and only the gift of the gods.
Which the gods have given you.
Which by their graces I will keep.
You may wear her in title yours, but you know, strange foul light on neighboring ponds. And your ring may be stolen too, so your brace of unprizable estimations. The one is but frail, and the other casual. A cunning thief, or that away accomplished courtier, would hazard the winning of both first and last.
Your Italy contains none so accomplished a courtier to convince the honor of my mistress, if in the holding or loss of that you term her frail. I do nothing doubt you have stores of thieves, notwithstanding. I fear not my ring.
Let us leave here, gentlemen.
Sir, with all my heart, this worthy signor, I thank him, makes no stranger of me. We are familiar at first.
With 5 times so much conversation, I should get ground of your fair mistress. Make her go back even to the yielding, should I have admittance and opportunity to friend.
No.
I dare thereupon pawn the moiety of my estate to your ring. Well, in my opinion, all values it something. No, I'll make my wager rather against your confidence than her reputation. And to bar your offense hereinto, I durst attempt it against any lady in the world.
You are a great deal abused in so bold a persuasion, and I doubt not you sustain what you're worthy of by your attempt.
What's that?
A repulse. Though your attempt, as you call it, deserved more, a punishment too.
Gentlemen, enough of this. It came in too suddenly. Let it die as it was born, and I pray you, be better acquainted.
Would I had put my estate and my neighbors on the approbation of what I have spoke.
What lady would you choose to assail?
Yours, whom in constancy you think stands so safe. Now, I will lay you 10,000 ducats to your ring that, well, commend me to the court where your lady is with no more advantage than the opportunity of a second conference, and I will bring from thence that honor of hers that you imagine so reserved.
I will wage against your gold to it. My ring I hold as dear as my finger, 'tis part of it.
Oh, you are afraid, and therein the wiser. No, if you buy ladies' flesh at $1,000,000 a dram, you cannot prevent it from tainting. And you have some religion in you that you fear.
This is but a custom in your tongue. You bear a graver purpose, I hope.
I am the master of my speeches and would undergo what is spoken. I swear.
Will you? I will but lend my diamond till your return. Let there be covenants between us. My mistress exceeds in honor the hugeness of your unworthy thinking. I dare you to this match.
I will have it no lay.
By the gods, it is one. If I bring you no sufficient testimony that I have enjoyed the dearest bodily part of your fair mistress, she your jewel, this your jewel, and my gold are yours.
I embrace these conditions. Let us have articles betwixt us. Only thus far, you shall answer. If you make your voyage upon her and can bring me directly to understand, you have prevailed. I am no longer your enemy. She is not worth our debate. If she remain unseduced, you, not making it appear otherwise, for your ill opinion and the assault you have made to her chastity, you shall answer it with my sword.
Your hand. A covenant. We will have these things set down by lawful counsel, and straight away to Britain, lest our bargains starve and catch cold. I will fetch my gold and have our 2 wagers recorded.
Agreed.
Will this hold, think you?
Now, Signor Iachimo will not from it. Pray, let's follow him.
So Iachimo made way for Britain with the nefarious goal of winning the wager with Posthumus.
Meanwhile, in Cymbeline's court, the queen met secretly with her doctor concerning matters of her own villainous intentions. Now, Master Doctor, have you brought those drugs?
Pleaseth your highness. Aye, here they are, madam. But I beseech your grace without offense. My conscience bids me ask, wherefore you have commanded of me those most poisonous compounds, which are the movers of a languishing death, but though slow, deadly.
I wonder, Doctor, that thou askest me such a question. Have I not been thy pupil long? Hast thou not learned me to make perfumes, distill, preserve, yea, so that our great king himself doth woo me oft for my confections? Having thus far proceeded, unless you think me devilish, is it not meet that I should amplify my own judgments in other conclusions? I will try the forces of these thy compounds on such creatures as we count not worth the hanging, but none human, to try the vigor of them, and by them gather their several virtues and effects.
Your highness shall from this practice but make hard your heart. Besides, the seeing these effects will be both noisome and infectious.
Oh, content thee. Here comes a flattering rascal. On him will I first work. He's for his master, an enemy to my son. Hana Bassanio.
I do not like her, but she shall do no harm.
Hark thee, a word. Doctor, your service for this time is ended. Take your own way.
I do not trust her. I do know her spirit and will not trust one of her malice with a drug of such damned nature. Those she has will stupefy and dull the sense a while, but there is no danger in what show of death it makes, more than the locking up the spirits a time, to be more fresh, reviving. She is fooled with a most false effect, and I the truer, so to be false with her.
No more service, doctor, until I send for thee.
I humbly take my leave.
Weep she still, sayest thou? Dost thou not think that in time she will quench and let instruction enter where folly now possesses? Do thou work, and when thou tellest me that she loves my son, I tell thee upon that instant thou wilt be as great as thy master. Greater, for his fortunes all lie speechless, and his name is at last gasp. Return he cannot, nor continue where he is. To shift his being is to exchange one misery with another, and every day that comes to decay a day's work in him. What wilt thou expect? To be a depender upon a thing that leans, that cannot be new built, nor has no friends so much as to prop him? Oh, thou takest up. Thou knowest not what but take it for thy labor. It is a thing I made, which the king hath 5 times from death redeemed. I do not know what is more cordial. Nay, I prithee take it. It is an earnest of the good I mean to thee. Tell thy mistress how the case stands with her. Tell her as from thyself, and I am bound to load thy merit richly. Fare thee well, Pisanio. Think on my words.
And shall do. But when to my good lord I prove untrue, I'll choke myself. There's all I'll do for you.
A sly and constant knave, not to be shaked, an agent for his master. He has that from me, that which if he takes, shall quite unpeople her of liegers for her sweet. And after, unless she bend her humor, shall be assured to drink of too.
A father cruel and a stepdame false. A foolish suitor to a wedded lady that hath her husband banished. Oh, that husband, my supreme crown of grief, and all the repeated vexations of it. Had I been thief stolen, as my 2 brothers happy, but most miserable is the desire that's glorious.
Madam, a noble gentleman of Rome comes from my lord with letters.
Change you, madam. The worthy Leonatus is in safety and greets your highness dearly.
Thanks, good sir. You're kindly welcome.
All of her that is out of doors most rich. If she be furnished with a mind so rare, she alone is the Arabian bird, and I have lost this wager. Oh, boldness, be my friend.
He is one of the noblest notes, to whose kindnesses I'm infinitely tied. Reflect on him accordingly, as you value your trust. Leonatus, you are as welcome, worthy sir, as I have words to bid you, and shall find it so in all that I can do.
Thanks, fairest lady.
Continues well, my lord. His health beseech you.
Well, madam.
Is he disposed to mirth? Oh, I hope he is.
Exceedingly pleasant. None a stranger there, so merry or so gamesome. He is called the Britain Reveler.
When he was here, he did incline to sadness, and not of times not knowing why.
I never saw him sad. There is a Frenchman, his companion, an eminent monsieur, that it seems loves a galleon girl at home. He furnishes the fixed size from him, whilst the jolly Briton, your lord I mean, laughs from his free lungs and cries, "Oh, can my sight hold to think that man who knows by history, report, or his own proof what woman is, will with his free hours languish for assured bondage."
Will my lord say so?
Aye, madam, with his eyes in flood with laughter. But it is a recreation to be by and see him mock the Frenchman. And heavens knows, some men are much to blame.
Not he, I hope.
Not he. But had I this cheek to bathe my lips upon, or this hand, whose touch, whose every touch would force the feeler's soul to the oath of loyalty. Oh, this object, which captures the wild motion of mine eye, fixing it only here, should I, damned then, slaver with lips as common as the steps that mount the Capitol?
My lord, I fear, has forgot Britain.
And himself. But not I, inclined to this knowledge, pronounce the beggary of his change.
Let me hear.
It is your graces that from my mutest conscience to my tongue charms this report.
Let me hear no more.
Oh, dearest lady, your cause does strike my heart with pity, and that does make me sick. A lady so fair and fastened to an empery would make the greatest king double. Revenge it. Or she that bore you was no queen, and you recoil from your great stock.
Revenge. How should I be revenged? If this be true, as I have such a heart that both mine ears must not in haste abuse. If it be true, how should I be revenged?
Should he make me live like Diana's priest twixt cold cheese, while vaulting variable ramps in your despite upon your purse? Revenge it. I will dedicate myself to your sweet pleasure, more noble than that runagate to your bed, and continue fast to your affections. Oh, still close as sure.
What ho, Bassanio!
Allowing my service to tender on your lips.
Away! I do condemn mine ears that have so long attended thee. If thou wert honorable, thou wouldst have told this tale for virtue, not for such an end thou seekst, as base, as strange. Thou wrong'st a gentleman who is as far from thy report as thou from honor, and solicitest here a lady that disdains thee and the devil alike. What ho, Bassanio! The king, my father, shall be made acquainted of thy assault. If he shall think it fit, a saucy stranger in his court to mart as an aromatic stew, and to expound his beastly mind to us. He hath a court he cares little for, and a daughter who he not respects at all. What ho, Bassanio!
Oh, happy Leonatus, the credit that thy lady hath of thee deserves thy trust, and thy most perfect goodness, her assured credit. Blessed live you long, a lady to the worthiest sir that ever country called his, and you his mistress, only for the most worthiest fit. Give me your pardon. I have spoke these things to know if your affiance were deeply rooted, and to make your lord that which he is, new or. And he is one most mannered that societies are enchanted into him. Half all men's hearts are his.
You make amends.
He sits amongst men like a descended god. He hath the kind of honor that sets him off, more than a mortal seeming. Be not angry, mighty princess. The love I bear him made me fan you thus. But the gods made you, above all others, chafeless. Pray, your pardon.
All's well, sir. Take my power in the court for yours.
My humble thanks. I had forgot to entreat your grace, but in a small request, and of a moment too, for it concerns your lord. Some noble friends of mine and of myself are partners in the business.
Pray, what is it?
Well, some noble Romans of us and your lord have mingled sums to buy a present for the emperor. 'Tis plate of rare device, jewels of rich and exquisite form, their values great. And I am something strange to keep them in safe stowage. May you take them in protection.
Willingly, and upon mine honor for their safety, since my lord hath an interest in them, I will keep them in my bedchamber.
They are in a trunk, guarded by my men. I will make bold to send them to you, but only for tonight, for I must aboard tomorrow.
Oh, no, no.
Yes, I beseech, or I shall shorten my word by lengthening my return. From Gallia across seas, on purpose and on promise, I traveled to see your grace.
I thank you for your pains, but not away tomorrow.
Madam, I must. Therefore, I shall beseech you. If you wish to greet your lord with writing, do it tonight. I have outstayed my time, which is material to the tender of our presents.
I will write, Send your trunk to me, it shall be safely kept, and truly yielded you. You're very welcome.
Therefore, that evening, Iachimo's trunk was conveyed to Imogen's bedchamber as he had requested.
Unbeknownst to the princess, Iachimo had hid himself inside, where he remained shut up till Imogen retired to rest.
I have read 3 hours. Mine eyes are weak. Sleep hath seized me wholly. To your protection I commend me, gods. From fairies and tempters of the night guard me, beseech ye.
Oh, the crickets sing, and man's o'er-labored senses repair themselves by rest. Oh, Cytherea, how bravely thou becomest thy bed, fresh lily, and whiter than the sheets. Oh, 'tis her breathing that perfumes the chamber thus. To my design, to note the chamber, I will write all down. Oh, there. And there are pictures. And here, a window. Such the adornment of her bed, the arras, or figures, like such and such. Oh, some natural notes about her body. Above 10,000 mean immovables would testify to enrich mine inventory. Come off. Come off. As slippery as the Gordian knot was hard, 'tis mine. This will witness outwardly as strongly as the conscience does within to the maddening of her lord. Oh, on her left breast lies a mole, sink-spotted like the crimson drops of the bottom of a goose lip. Oh, here is a voucher stronger than ever law could make. This secret will force him think I have picked the lock and taken the treasure of her honor. I have enough. To the trunk and shut the spring of it. Swift, swift, you dragons of the night, that dawning may bear the raven's eye. Though this a heavenly angel, hell is here.
Good morrow to your majesty and my gracious mother.
Attend you hear the door of our stern daughter? Will she not for?
I've assailed her with music, but she vouchsafes no notice.
The exile of her minion is too new. She hath not yet forgot him. Some more time must wear the print of his remembrance out, and then she's yours.
The king lets go by no vantages which may prefer you to his daughter. Frame yourself to orderly soliciting. Befriended with the aptness of the season. Make denials increase your services.
So like you, sir, ambassadors from Rome. The one is Caius Lucius.
Worthy fellow, albeit he comes on angry purpose now, but that's no fault of his. We must receive him according to the honor of his sender, and towards himself, his goodness forespent on us, we must extend our notice. Our dear son, when you have given good morning to your mistress, attend the queen and us. We shall have need to employ you towards this romance. Come, our queen.
If she be up, I'll speak with her. By your leave, ho! Good morrow, fairest sister, your sweet hand.
Good morrow, sir. You lay out too much pains for purchasing, but trouble. The thanks I have to give is telling you that I am poor of thanks and scarce can spare them.
Still, I swear I love you.
Oh, if you but said so, 'twere as deep with me. If you swear it still, your recompense is still that I regard it not.
This is no answer.
But that you shall not say I yield by being silent, I would not speak. I pray you, spare me. Faith, I shall unfold equal discourtesy to your greatest kindness. One of your great knowing should learn, being taught, forbearance.
To leave you in your sin, it were my madness. I will not.
Fools are not mad folk.
Oh, do you call me fool?
As I am mad, I do. If you'll be patient, I'll no more be mad. That cures us both. I am much sorry, sir. You put me to forget a lady's manners by being so verbal. And learn now, for all that I, which do know my heart, do here pronounce, by the very truth of it, I care not for you, and am so near the lack of charity to accuse myself, I hate you, which I had rather you felt than make it my boast.
You sin against obedience which you owe your father, for the contract you pretend with that base wretch. It is no contract, none. You are curbed from that enlargement by the consequence of the crown, and must not spoil the precious note of it with a base slave, a gilding for a livery, a squire's cloth, a pantler, not so eminent.
Profane fellow, wert thou the son of Jupiter, and know but more than what thou art besides, thou wert too base to be his groom.
The south fog rot him.
He can meet no more mischance than to be but named of thee. His meanest garment which hath ever but clipped his body is dearer in my respect than all the hairs above thee, were they all made such men. How now, Pisanio?
His garment now, the devil.
I am sprited with a fool, frighted and angered worse. Go, bid my woman search for a jewel that hath too casually left mine arm. It was thy master's. True me if I would lose it for a revenue of any kings in Europe. I do think I saw it this morning. Confident I am last night 'twas on mine arm. I kissed it. I hope it not be gone to tell my lord that I kiss aught but he. 'Twill not be lost. I hope so. Go and search.
You have abused me. His meanest garment.
Aye, I said so, sir. If you will make it an action, call witness to it.
I will inform your father.
Your mother, too. She's my good lady and will conceive, I hope, but the worst of me. So I leave you, sir, to the worst of discontent.
Oh, his meanest garment. Well.
Later that morning, Iachimo's trunk was conveyed to his ship.
There, he uncased himself and made his voyage back to Rome.
Fear it not, sir. I would I were so sure to win the king. As I'm bold, her honor will remain hers.
What means do you make to him?
Not any, but abide the change of time, quake in the present winter state, and wish the warmer days were come. In these failed hopes, I barely gratify your love. They failing, I must die much your debtor.
Your very goodness and your company o'erpays all I can do. By this, your king will hear of great Augustus. Caius Lucius will do his commission truly, and I think he'll grant the tribute and send the arrearages off. Look upon our Romans, whose remembrance is yet grief. Remembrance is yet strong in their grief.
I do believe, status though I am none nor like to be, that this will prove a war. And you will sooner see the legions now in Gallia landed in our not-fearing Britain than have penny tributes paid.
Oh, see, Iachimo. Oh, welcome, sir.
I hope the briefness of your answer made the speediness of your return.
Your lady is one of the fairest I have looked upon.
And therewithal the best.
Here, letters for you.
Well, their tenor good, I trust.
Tis very like.
Was Caius Lucius in the Britain court when you were there?
He was expected then, but not approached.
All is well yet? Sparkles the stone as it was wont, or is it not too dull for your good wearing?
If I had lost it, I would have lost the worth of it in gold. No, I would travel twice as far to enjoy a second night of such sweet shortness which was mine in Britain. For the ring is won.
The stone's too hard to come by.
Not a whit, your lady being so easy.
Make not, sir, your loss your sport. I hope you know we must not continue friends.
Oh, good sir, we must, if you keep covenant. Had I not brought knowledge of your mistress home, I grant we should question further. But I now profess myself winner of her honor, together with your ring, and not the wronger of her or you, but having proceeded by both your wills.
If you can make it apparent that you have tasted her in bed, my hand and ring is yours. If not, the foul opinion you had of her pure honor gains or loses your sword or mine, or masterless leaves both to who shall find them.
Sir, my circumstances, being so near the truth as I will make them, must first induce you to believe, wherein your strength I will confirm with oath, which I doubt you will give me leave to spare when you find you need it not.
Proceed.
First, her bedchamber, where I confess I slept not, but had what was well worth watching. It was hanged with tapestries of silk and silver, the story of Cleopatra as she met her Roman, and Cydnus swelled the banks. Oh, such a piece of work, so bravely done, so rich, that it did strive in workmanship and value.
This is true, and this she might have heard by me from here, or by some other.
Some more particulars must justify my knowledge.
So they must, or do your honor injury.
The chimney is south the chamber, and the chimney piece chased Diane bathing. Never saw I figures more likely to report themselves.
This is a thing which from relation you might likewise reap, being as it is much spoke of.
The roof of the chamber with golden cherubims is fretted, and her andirons, oh, I forgot them, were two winking cupids of silver, each standing nicely on one foot, depending on their brands.
This is her honor. Let it be granted you have seen all this, and praise be given to your remembrance. The description you had of what is in her chamber, nothing save the wager you have laid.
Then, if you can, be pale. Oh, I beg but leave to air this jewel. See? Ah, now 'tis up again. It'll be married to that your diamond. I'll keep them.
Jove, once more let me behold it. Is it that which I left with her?
Sir, I thank her that. She stripped it from her arm. She gave it me and said she prized it. Once.
Maybe she plucked it off to send it to me.
Oh, she writes so to you, does she?
Oh, no. No, 'tis true. Here, take this too. 'Tis a basilisk unto my eye. Kills me to look on it. Let there be no honor where there is beauty. Oh, above measure fall!
Have patience, sir, and take your ring again. It is not yet won. It may be probable she lost it, or who knows if one of her women, being corrupted, has stolen it from her.
Very true. And so I hope he came by. Back my ring. Render to me some more corporal sign more evident about her than this, for that was stolen.
By Jupiter, I had that from her arm.
Hark you, he swears! By Jupiter, he swears. Nay, keep the ring, it is true. I know she would not lose it. Her attendants are all sworn and honorable. They induced to steal it? By a stranger? No. He hath enjoyed her. The cognizance of her incontinency is this. She hath bought the name of whore thus dearly. There, take thy hire. All the fiends of hell divide themselves between you.
Sir, be patient. This is not strong enough to be believed of one persuaded well of
Never talk on it. She hath been colted by him.
If you seek for further satisfying, under her breast,
Worthy the pressing.
lies a mole, right proud of that most delicate lodging. Upon my life, I kissed it, and it gave me hunger to feed again, though full. Do you remember this stain on her?
Aye, and it doth confirm another stain, as big as hell can hold. Oh, that I had her here, to tear her limb meal. I will go there in the court, before her father. I'll do something.
Quite past the government of patience. Yes, you have won. Let's follow him and pervert the present wrath he hath against himself.
With all my heart.
Posthumus, then in a jealous rage, wrote to his servant Bassanio.
After telling his servant what proof he had of his wife's disloyalty, he desired Bassanio to take Imogen to Milford Haven, a seaport of Wales, and there kill her. And at the same time, he wrote a deceitful letter to Imogen, desiring her to go with Bassanio to Milford Haven, where he begged she would meet him.
Meanwhile, back in Britain, Cymbeline met with Caius Lucius, an ambassador of Rome, who was sent to demand tribute of the king, to be paid to Augustus Caesar, to uphold the long-standing peace treaty between Britain and Rome.
Now say, what would Augustus Caesar with us?
When Julius Caesar, whose remembrance yet lives in men's eyes, and will to ears and tongues be theme and hearing ever, was in this Britain and conquered it, Cymbeline, thine uncle, for him and his succession, granted Rome a tribute, yearly 3,000 pounds, which lately by thee is left untendered.
And to kill the marvel shall be so ever. That opportunity which then they had to take from us to resume, we have again. A kind of conquest Caesar made here, but made not here his brag of came and saw and overcame. With shame that first that ever touched him, he was carried from off our coast, twice beaten. In joy whereof the famed Cymbeline, who was once at point...
We have yet many among us who can gripe as hard as Cymbeline. Well, I do not say I am one, but I have a hand. Well, why tribute? Why should we pay tribute? If Caesar could hide the moon in his pocket or put the sun under a blanket, we would pay him tribute for light. Else, sir, no more tribute, pray you now.
You must know, till the injurious Romans did extort this tribute from us, we were free. Caesar's ambition, which swelled that it did almost stretch the sides of the world against all color here, did put this yoke upon us, which, to shake off, becomes a warlike people, which we reckon ourselves to be.
I am sorry, Cymbeline, that I am to pronounce Augustus Caesar, Caesar that hath more kings his servants than thyself domestic officers, thine enemy. Receive it from me then. War and confusion in Caesar's name pronounce I against thee. Look for fury, not to be resisted.
How? Of adultery? Wherefore write you not what monsters her accuser? Oh, Leonatus. Oh, master. What a strange infection is fallen into thy ear. What false Italian as poisonous tongued as hand it has prevailed on thy too ready hearing. Disloyal? Oh, she's punished for her truth and undergoes more goddess-like than wife-like such assaults as would take in some virtue. Oh, my master, thy mind to her is now as low as were thy fortunes. How? That I should murder her, a
on the love and truth and vows which I have made to thy command. Her blood. If it be so to do good service, never let me be counted serviceable. How look I that I should seem to lack humanity, so much as this fact comes to? Do it. The letter I have sent her shall by her own command give the opportunity. Oh, damned paper! Black as the ink that's on thee! Lo, here she comes. I am ignorant in what I am commanded.
How now, Bassanio?
Madam, here is a letter from my lord.
Thy lord? That is my lord, Leonatus. You good gods, let what is here contain relish of love, of my lord's health, of his content, yet not that we two are asunder. Let that grieve him. Some griefs are medicinable, that is one, for it doth physic love, of his content. Oh, but in that, good wax your leave, good news, gods. Justice, and your father's wrath, should he take me in his dominion, could not be so cruel to me as you, O dearest of creatures, would even renew me with your eyes. Take notice that I am in Cambria at Milford Haven. What your own love will out of this advise you, follow. So he wishes you all happiness that remains loyal to his vow and your increasing in love, Leonatus Posthumus. Oh, for a horse with wings! Hearest thou, Bassanio? Read, and tell me, how far 'tis thither? If one of mean affairs could plod there in a week, why may I not glide thither in a day? Then, true Bassanio, who longs like me to see thy lord, tell me, how far is it to the same blessed Milford? Oh, and by the way, tell me how Wales was made so happy as to inherit such a haven. But, first of all, how shall we steal from hence? And for the gap we shall make in time from our hence going to our return to excuse. But, first, how get hence? Why should excuse be born or e'er be got? We'll talk of that hereafter. Prithee, speak. How many score of miles may we well ride twixt hour and hour?
1 score, twixt sun and sun, madam's enough for you. And too much, too.
Why, one that's rode to his execution, man, could never go so slow. I have heard of riding wagers where the horses have been nimbler than the sands that run in the clock's behalf, but this is foolery. Go, bid my woman feign a sickness, say she'll home to her father, and provide me presently with a riding suit, no costlier than would fit a Franklin's housewife.
Madam, your best consider.
Away, I prithee, do as I bid thee, there's no more to say. Accessible is none but Milford way. Imogen's steps would strangely direct her to the dwelling of her 2 brothers, who had been stolen away in their infancy.
Valerius, who had stolen them away, had been courtier to Cymbeline, but having been falsely accused of treason by the king, was banished from court. In treason whereof, he stole these 2 boys and raised them in a cave near Milford Haven, where he lived concealed in a forest.
He stole them through revenge, but soon learned to love them as tenderly as if they had been his own children.
He educated them carefully, and they grew up fine youths, their princely spirits always leading them to daring and bold adventures, always pressing their supposed father to let them seek their fortunes in the war.
A goodly day not to keep house with such whose roofs as low as ours. Stoop, boys! This gate instructs you how to adore the heavens and vows you to a morning's holy office. Hail, thou fair heaven! We house in the rock, yet use thee not so proudly as harder livers do.
Hail, heaven!
Hail, heaven!
Now for our mountain sport. Unto yon mountains, your legs are young. I'll tread these flats. Consider, when you above perceive me like a crow, that it is place which lessens and sets off. Then you may revolve what tales I have told you of courts, of princes, of the tricks of war. Oh, this life is nobler than attending for a check, prouder than doing nothing for a bauble. rather than rustling and unpaid-for silk. No life to us!
Out of your proof you speak. We poor unfledged have never winged from view of the nest, nor know not what airs from here. Haply this life is best, if quiet life be best. Sweeter to you that have the sharper known, well corresponding to your stiff age. But unto us it is a cell of ignorance, a prison for the debtor that not dares to stride a limit.
What should we speak of when we're as old as you? How, in this our pinchy cave, when we hear the wind and rain beat dark December, how will we discourse the freezing hours away? We have seen nothing. We are beastly. We are fox-like for what we hunt. Like warlike as for what we eat. Our valor is to chase what flies. But our cage, we make a choir, as doth the prison bird, and sing our bondage freely.
How you speak! Did you but know the city's usuries and feel them knowingly? The art of the court is hard to leave as to keep. The toils of the war, a pain that seems to seek out danger only in the name of fame and honor. Oh, boys, this story the world may read in me. Cymbeline loved me, and when a soldier was the theme, my name was not far off. Then was I as a tree whose boughs did bend with fruit. But then a storm or robbery, call it what you will, shook off my mellow hangings, yea, my leaves, and left me bare to weather.
Uncertain favor.
My fault being nothing, as I have told you oft, but that two villains, whose false oaths prevailed against my perfect honor, swore to Cymbeline that I was confederate with the Romans. Thus followed my banishment, where these 20 years this rock and these domain have been my world, where I have lived in honest freedom, paid more pious debt to heaven than in all the forend of my time. But, up to the mountains. This is not hunter's language. He that strikes of innocent verse shall be master of the hunt, and to him the other two shall minister. We will fear no poison, which attends in places of greater state. I'll meet you in the valleys. How hard it is to hide the sparks of nature. These boys know nothing that they are sons to the king, nor Cymbeline dreams that they are alive. They think they are mine, and though brought up thus meanly in this cave wherein they dwell, their thoughts do hit the roofs of palaces. Hark! The game is roused.
Thou toldst me when we came from Horse the place was near at hand. Ne'er longed my mother so to see me first as I have now. Pisanio, man, where is Posthumus? What is in thy mind that makes thee stare thus? Why tenderest thou that paper to me with a look untender? If it be summer news, speak to it before. If winterly thou needst but keep that countenance still. My husband's hand. That drug-damned Italy hath outcrafted him, and he's at some hard point. Speak, man!
Please you read, and you shall find me wretched man, a thing the most disdained of fortune.
Thy mistress, Pisanio, hath played the strumpet in my bed. The testimonies whereof lie bleeding in me. I speak not out of weak surmises, but from proof. As strong as my grief, and as certain as I expect my revenge, that part thou, Pisanio, must act for me. If thy faith be not tainted with the breach of hers, let thine own hands take away her life. I shall give the opportunity at Milford Haven. She hath my letter for the purpose where, if thou fear to strike, and to make me certain it is done, thou art the pandar to her dishonor, and equally to me disloyal.
What have I need to draw my sword? The paper hath cut her throat already. there and think on him? To weep twixt clock and clock it sleep-charged nature, to break it with a fearful dream of him and cry myself awake, that's false to his bed, is it? Alas, good lady, I, false? Thy conscience witness. Iachimo, thou then didst accuse him of incontinency. Thou then lookst like a villain. Now I think thy favor's good enough. Some jay of Italy, whose mother was her painting, hath betrayed him. Poor, I am stale, a garment out of fashion, and as I am richer than to hang by the wall, I must be rich. To pieces with me!
Good madam, hear me! Come thou, fellow. Do thy master's bidding. When thou seest him a little witness my obedience, look, I draw the sword myself, take it, and hit the innocent mansion of my love, my heart. Fear not, 'tis empty of all things but grief. Thy master is not there, who indeed was the riches of it. Do his bidding. Strike! Thou mayst be more valiant in a better cause, but now thou seemst a coward!
Hence, vile instrument! Thou shalt not damn my hand. Oh, gracious lady, since I received command to do this business, I have not slept 1 week.
Do it, and to bed then.
Oh, wake my eyeballs blind first.
Wherefore then didst undertake it?
But to win time, to lose so bad employment, in the which I have considered of a course. Good madam, hear me with patience. It cannot be but my master is abused. Some villain, aye, and singular in his art, hath done you both this cursed injury.
Some Roman courtesan?
No, on my life. Oh, give him but notice you are dead, and send him some bloody sign of it, for 'tis commanded I should do so. You will be missed at court, and that will well confirm it.
Why, good fellow, what shall I do to where bide? How live, and in my life what comfort when I am dead to my husband?
If you'll back to the court...
No court, no father, nor no more ado with that harsh, noble, simple nothing, that plottin, whose love suit hath been to me as fearful as a siege.
If not at court, then not in Britain must you bide. The ambassador, Lucius the Roman, comes to Milford tomorrow. Now, if you could wear mine, dark as your fortune is, and but disguise that which to appear itself, you should tread a course pretty and full of you. Yea, happily near the residence of Posthumus. So nigh, at least, that though his actions were not visible, yet report of him should render him hourly to your ear, as truly as he moves.
Oh, for such a means, though peril to my modesty, not death on it, I would adventure.
Well, then here's the point. You must forget to be a woman. Change command into obedience, fear and niceness into a waggish courage, ready and jibes, quick-answered, saucy, and as querulous as the weasel.
Nay, be brief. I see into thine end, and
And almost a man already.
First, but make yourself like one. For thinking this, I have already fit. 'Tis in my cloak bag. Hat, hose, doublet, all that answer to them. Would you in their serving, and with what imitation you can borrow from youth of such a season, for noble Lucius, present yourself. Desire his service. Tell him wherein you're happy, which you'll make him know if that his head hath ear in music. Doubtless with joy he will embrace you, for he's honorable, and doubly that most holy. Well, we must take a short farewell, lest being missed, I be suspected of your carriage from the court. My noble mistress, here is a box. What's in it is precious. If you are sick at sea or stomach cramped at land, a dram of this will drive away distemper. To some shade to fit you to your manhood.
amen. I thank thee.
Lucius hath wrote already to the emperor how it goes here. It fits us therefore ripely, our chariots and our horsemen be in readiness. The powers that he already hath in Gallia will soon be drawn to head from whence he drives his war for Britain.
'Tis not sleepy business, but must be looked to speedily and strongly.
Well, our expectation that it would be thus hath made us forward. But, my gentle queen, where is our daughter? She hath not appeared before the Roman, nor to us hath tendered the duty of the day. She looks us like a thing more made of malice than of duty. We have noted it. Call her before us, for we have been too slight in suffering.
Royal sir, since the exile of Posthumus, most retired hath her life been. The cure whereof, my lord, 'tis time must do. Beseech your majesty, forbear sharp words to her, for she is a lady so tender of rebukes that words are strokes and strokes death to her.
Where is she, sir? How can her contempt be answered?
Please you, sir. Her chambers are all locked, and there is no answer that will be given to the loudest noise we make.
My lord, when last I went to visit her, she prayed me excuse her keeping close, and thus constrained by her infirmity, she must leave unpaid that duty which daily she was made to proffer. This she wished me to make known to you, but our great court made me to blame in memory.
Her door is locked, not seen of late. Grant heavens that which I fear prove false.
I say, son, follow the king.
That man of hers, Bassanio, her old servant, I have not seen these 2 days.
Go, look after. Bassanio, that standeth so for Posthumus. He hath that drug of mine. I pray his absence proceed with swallowing that, for he thinks it is a thing most precious. But for her, where is she gone? Haply, despair hath seized her, or, winged with fervor for her love, she hath flown to her desired Posthumus. To my end, I can make good use of either. Gone she is, to death or dishonor. And I have the placing of the British crown. How now, my son?
Oh, 'tis certain she is fled. Go in and cheer the king. He rages, none dare come about him.
All the better. May this night forestall him the coming day.
Oh, I love and hate her! Who is here? What are you packing, sirrah? Come hither. You precious pander, villain, where is thy lady?
Oh, good, my lord.
Where is thy lady, or by Jupiter, I will not ask again. Close, villain, I'll have the secret from thy heart, or rip thy heart to find it. Is she with Posthumus, from whose so many weights of baseness cannot a dram of worth be drawn?
Alas, my good lord, how can she be with him? When was she missed? He is in Rome.
Where is she, sir? Come nearer. No further halting. Satisfy me home. What has become of her?
Oh, my all-worthy lord!
All-worthy villain! Discover where thy mistress is at once, at the next word. No more of worthy lord. Speak, villain, or thy silence on the instant is thy condemnation and thy death.
Then, sir, this paper is the history of my knowledge touching her flight.
Let me see it. Let me see it. I'll pursue her, even to Augustus's throne.
Or this, or perish. She's far enough, and what he learns by this may prove his travel, not her danger.
Huh?
Oh, write to my lord she's dead. Oh, Imogen, safe mayst thou wander, safe return again.
Sirrah, is this letter true?
Sir, as I think.
'Tis Posthumus's hand. I know it.
Well, my lord.
Sirrah, since patiently and constantly thou hast stuck to the bare fortune of that beggar Posthumus, thou canst not, but in the course of gratitude, but be a diligent follower of mine. Wilt thou serve me?
Sir, I will.
Hast any of thy late master's garments in your possession?
I have of my lord at my lodging the same suit he wore when he took leave of my lady and mistress.
The first service I bid thee, fetch me that suit hither, let it be thy lint service. Go!
Sir, I will.
Ha-ha. Oh, meet me at Milford Haven. Oh, I forgot to ask him one thing. I'll remember it anon. Even there, thou villain Posthumus, will I kill thee. I wish these garments were come. She said upon a time that she held the very garments of Posthumus in more regard than my noble and natural person, together with the adornment of my qualities. Oh, with that suit upon my back will I ravish her. First kill him, and in her eyes, he being down, my speech of insultment ended on his dead body. And when my lust hath dined, to the court I'll book her home again. She hath despised me rejoicingly, and I'll be merry in my revenge. Be those the garments?
Aye, my noble lord.
How long is it since she went to Milford Haven?
She can scarce be there yet.
Bring this apparel to my chamber. My revenge is now at Milford. Would I had wings to follow it? Come and be true.
Thou bidst me to my loss, for true to thee were to prove false, which I will never be to him that's most true. To Milford go and find not her whom thou pursuest. Flow, you heavenly blessings on her. This fool's speed be crossed with slowness. Labor be his meed.
Oh, I see a man's life is a tedious one. I have tired myself, and for 2 nights together have made the ground my bed. I should be sick, but that my resolution helps me. Milford. When from the mountain top Pisanio showed thee, thou wast within a ken. Oh, Jove, I think foundations fly the wretched. Such I mean as where they should be relieved. 2 beggars told me I could not miss my way. Poor folks lie that, having afflictions on them, knowing 'tis some punishment or trial. Yes, no wonder when rich ones scarce tell true. Oh, my lord, thou art one of the false ones. But what is this? There's a path to it. 'Tis some savage hold. I were best not to call. I dare not call. Oh, yet famine, ere clean its o'erthrow nature makes it valiant. Peace and plenty breeds cowards. Ho! Who's there? If anything that's civil, speak. If savage, take or lend. Ho! No answer. Then I'll enter. Best draw my sword. If my enemy but fear the sword like me, he'll scarcely look on it. Such a foe, good heavens.
Polydor, you have proved best woodman and are master of the feast. Cadwal and I will play servant and cook. 'Tis our match. Come, our stomachs will make what's homely savory.
I am thoroughly weary.
Well, I am weak with toil, yet strong in appetite.
There's cold meat in the cave. We'll browse on that whilst what we have killed be cooked.
Stay! Come not in. But that it eats our victuals, I should think here were a fairy.
What's the matter, Father?
By Jupiter, an angel, or if not an earthly paragon. Behold, divinest no elder than a boy.
Oh, good masters, harm me not. Before I entered here, I called and had thought to beg or bought what I have took. Good troth, I have stolen not, nor would not, had I found gold but strewed on the floor. Here is money for my meat. I would have left it on the board so soon as I had made my meal and parted with prayers for the provider.
Money, youth?
All gold and silver rather turn to dust, and it is no better reckoned but of those who worship dirty gods.
I see you're angry. Know that if you kill me for my faults, I should have died had I not made it.
Whither bound?
To Milford Haven.
What's your name?
Bedell, sir. I have a cousin who is bound for Rome. He embarked at Milford, to whom being going I am fallen in this offense.
Prithee, fair youth, think us no churls, nor judge our good minds by this crude place we live in. Well encountered, 'tis almost night. You'll have some good cheer ere you depart, and thanks to stay and eat it. Boys, bid him welcome.
Were you a woman, youth, I should woo hard to be your groom. I bid for you as I'd buy.
I'll make him my comfort. He is a man, and I'll love him like a brother. And, well, such a welcome as I'd give him after long absence, such is yours. Most welcome. Oh, be sprightly, for you're amongst friends.
Amongst friends and brothers.
Would it had been so, that they'd been my father's sons, then had my prize been less,
And all the more equal belasting to thee, Posthumus.
He rings at some distress.
Would I could free it.
Or I, whate'er it be, what pain it cost, the danger guards.
Hark, boys.
great ones, that had a court no bigger than this cave, that did attend themselves and had the virtue to which their own conscience sealed them, could not outpeer these twain. Pardon me, gods, I'd change my sex to be companion with them, since Leonatus is false.
Shall be so. Boys, we'll go dress our hunt. Fair youth, come in. Discourse is heavy, fasting. After we have supped, we'll mannerly demand thee of thy story, so far as thou wilt speak it.
Pray you, draw near.
Thanks, sir.
I pray, draw near.
Due to her gentle qualities, or perhaps it was their near relationship, though they knew it not, Imogen became the doting piece of her brothers. She scarcely less loved them, thinking that if not for the love of her dear Posthumus, she could live and die in the cave with these wild forest youths. And she gladly consented to stay with them until she was rested from the fatigue of traveling and could continue on her journey to Milford Haven.
Remain here in the cave. We'll come to you after hunting.
Stay here, brother. Are we not brothers?
Go you to hunting. I'll abide with him.
So sick I am not, yet I am not well, but not so citizen a wanton to die ere sick. So I please you, leave me. Stick to your journal course. The breach of custom is breach of all. I am ill, but your being by me cannot amend me, so I pray you, trust me here.
I love thee. I have spake it. The quality as much as the weight as much as I do love my father.
What? How?
If it be a sin to say so, I fault me, and my good brother's fault. I know not why that I love this youth. And I've heard that you say reasons, love's reason without reason. Brother, farewell.
I wish ye sport.
And you help. So please you, sir.
These are kind creatures. Gods, what lies I've heard. Our courtiers say, all savage but at court. Experience thou disprovest report. still. I am sick. Heart sick. Pisanio, I'll now taste of thy drug.
To the field, to the field. We'll leave you for this time. Rest here in the cave.
We'll not be long away.
Well or ill, I am bound to you.
And shalt be ever. This youth, howsoe'er distressed, seems to have had good ancestors.
How angel-like he sings.
But his neat cookery, he cuts our roots and characters and sauced our broths as Juno had been sick and he, her dieter.
'Tis a great morning. Come away. Who's there?
I cannot find those runagates. Oh, that villain hath mocked me. Whoo! I faint.
Those runagates. Means he not us? I partly know him. 'Tis Clotton, the son of the queen. Oh, I fear some ambush. It's many years since I seen him, but yet I notice he. We are held as outlaws. Hence.
Hey, he is but one. You and my brother search what companies are near. Let me alone with him.
Huh? Oh, soft, soft. What villains ply me thus? Oh, some villain mountaineers? Ha! I have heard of such. What slave art thou?
A thing more slavish ne'er I did than answer a slave without a knock.
Thou art a robber, a lawbreaker, a villain. Yield thee. Thief! Ha ha!
To who? To thee? What art thou? Say what thou art. Why should I yield to thee?
Thou villain base, knowest me not by my clothes.
No, nor thy tailor, rascal. Where is thy grandfather? For he made the clothes which as it seem make thee.
Thou precious varlet, my tailor made them not.
Hence then, and thank the man that gave them thee. Thou art some fool. I am loath to beat thee.
Thou injurious thief, hear but my name, and tremble.
What's thy name?
Clotton, thou villain.
Ooh, Clotton, thou double villain be thy name. I cannot tremble at it, were it toad or adder or spider, 'twould threat me more.
To thy further fear, nay, to thy mere confusion, thou shalt know I am son to the queen.
I am sorry for it, your not being so worthy as thy name.
Art not afeard?
Those I reverence, them I fear. The wise, the fools I laugh, not fear them.
Die the death, and when I have taken thy head from thee, I'll pursue even those that now fled hence, and on the gates of Ludstown set your heads. Yield, rustic mountaineer. Ha ha!
Clotton, though trained in combat, was no match for the youthful wiles and nimble-footedness of Polydor.
Clotton held his own at first, but quickly lost his ground.
And in a moment of triumph, Polydor lopped off Clotton's head.
Oh, in this place we left them. Oh, I wish my brother made good time with him. You say that he is so foul.
This Clotton was a fool, an empty purse that had no money in it. Not Hercules could have knocked his brains out because he had none.
What have you done?
I am perfect. What? Cut off one, Clotton's head, son to the queen by his own report, who called us traitor, mountaineer, who said with his own single hand he'd take us in and displace our heads from where, thank the gods, they grow and set them on Ludstown.
We are all undone.
Why, worthy father, what have we to fear but what he sought to take, our lives? For the law protects not us. Why should we then be tender to let an abhorrent piece of flesh threat us, play judge and executioner all himself, for we do fear the law? What companies discover you abroad?
No single soul can we set eye upon, yet in all safe reason he must have had some attendance. Not frenzy, not absolute madness could so far have brought him here alone. Yet Although it could be heard in court that such as we cave here or hunt here and are held as outlaws and may at some point make stronger head, and he hearing it as it is like him, he would break off and swear he'd fetch us in.
Let ordinance come as the gods foretell. Howsoever, my brother hath done well.
I had no mind to hunt this day. The boy Fidel's illness did make my way long for.
With his own sword, which he did wave against my throat, I have ta'en off his head. I'll take it, and I'll toss it in the creek behind our rock, and let it to the sea, and tell the fishes he's Cloten, the queen's son. That's all I reck.
Oh, I fear 'twill be revenged. Oh, would Polydor thou hadst not done it, although valor becomes thee well enough.
Wouldst I had done it, so revenge alone pursued me. Polydor, I love thee brotherly, but envy much thou hast robbed me of this deed.
Well, 'tis done. We'll hunt no more this day, nor seek for danger where there's no profit. Prithee, to our rock. You and Fidel play the cooks, and I'll stay till hasty Polydor return and bring him to dinner presently.
Poor sick Fidel, all wearingly to him.
Oh, goddess, oh, divine nature, how thou blazonest in these two princely boys.
Where is my brother? I have sent Cloten's clotpole down the stream, an embassy to his mother, his body's hostage for his return.
Cadwal, being first into the cave and fearing Imogen asleep, took off his heavy shoes that he might tread lightly and not awaken her.
But he soon discovered that she could not be awakened by any noise, and concluded her to be dead.
And with sad lament and dear and brotherly regret, he carried her out into the forest to his brother and father.
Father!
Oh, thou precious babe! Jove knows what kind of man thou mightst have been, but thou diedst a most rare boy of melancholy. How found you him?
Stark as you see. Well, thus smiling, as though some fly had tickled slumber, not as death's dart being laughed at. I thought he but slept, so put my clouded brogues from off my feet, which answered my footsteps too loud. Oh. Which sweetest flowers, while summer lasts and I live here, Fidel, I'll sweeten thy sad grave. Oh, thou not lack the flower that is like thy face, pale primrose, or the azure harebell, like thy veins, or the leaf of eglantine, flush
Prithee,
pink.
have done, and do not play with wench-like words about that which is so serious. Let's bury him and not protract with admiration what is our due debt to the grave.
So be it. Then come, Polydor. Though our voices have the mannish crack, so let us sing him to the ground.
Cadwal, I cannot sing. I'll weep and word it with thee.
We'll speak it then.
Fear no more the heat of the sun.
Fear no more the heat of the sun, though the furious winter's rages. Thou thy earthly task is done. Home art gone, and ta'en thy wages. Golden lads and girls all must, like chimney sweeps, come to dust.
Fear no more the frown of the grape, for thou art past the tyrant's stroke. Care no more to clothe and eat. To thee the reed is as the oak. Scepter, learning, physic, must all come to this and turn to dust.
Fear no more the lightning flash,
or the all-dreaded thunderstone.
Fear not slander, censure rash.
Thou art past joy and moan.
All lovers All lovers must, constrain to thee, and then to dust. No exercise or harm thee.
Nor witchcraft charm thee.
Ghost unlaid forbear thee.
Nothing ill come near thee.
Quiet consummation have, and renowned be thy grave.
Oh, gods! Goddesses! I hope I dream, for I thought I was a cave keeper and a cook to honest creatures, but 'tis not so. 'Twas but a bolt of nothing, shot at nothing which the brain makes a fume. Ah! A headless man! The garments of Posthumus. I know the shape of his leg. This is his hand. His foot, mercurial. His martial thigh, the bronze of Hercules, but his jovial face is gone. Pisanio. All curses madded Hecuba gave the Greeks, and mine to boot be darted on thee. Thou, conspired with that irregulous devil, Cloten, hast here cut off my lord. Damned Pisanio hath with his forged letters, damned Pisanio that from this most bravest vessel of the world struck the main topsail. Posthumus! How could this be? Pisanio? 'Tis he, and Cloten. Malice and lucre in them have made this woe here. The drug he gave me, which he said was precious and cordial to me, have I not found it murderous to the senses? That confirms it home. This is Pisanio's deed. And Cloten. Oh, my lord. Oh, my lord.
The garrisons legioned in Gallia after your will have crossed the sea and reached to Milford Haven with their ships. They are in readiness.
But what from Rome?
Oh, the Senate has stirred up the citizens and gentlemen of Italy, most willing spirits that promise noble service, and they come under the conduct of bold Giacomo, Siena's sister.
When expect you them?
With the next benefit of the wind.
Command that the present numbers be mustered. Bid the captains look to it. Now, sir, what have you dreamed of late of this war's purpose?
Last night, the very gods showed me a vision. I fasted and prayed for their intelligence. Thus, I saw Jove's bird, the Roman eagle, winged from the spongy south to this part of the west. There vanished in sunbeams, which portends, unless my sins abuse my divination, success to the Roman host.
Dream often so, and never false. Soft. Now, what trunk is this without a top? The ruin seems to speak that it was once a worthy building. How now? Page? Or dead? Or sleeping on him, but dead rather, for nature abhors to make his bed with the defunct or to sleep upon the dead. Let's see the boy's face.
He's alive, my lord.
He'll then answer us concerning this body. Young one, instruct us concerning thy fortune, for it craves to be demanded. Who is this thou makest thy bloody pillow? Or who was he who otherwise than noble nature did, hath altered this good picture? What is thy interest in this sad wreck? How came it? Who is he? What art thou?
I am nothing, or if not, nothing to be were better. This was my master, a very valiant Briton and a good, that here by mountaineers lie slain. Alas, there are no more such masters. I should wander from east to Occident, cry out for service, try many, all good, serve truly, never find such another master.
Lack, good youth, you move no less with your complaining than thy master in bleeding. Say his name, good friend.
Richard Duchamp. If I do lie and do no harm by it, though the gods hear, I hope they'll pardon it. Say you, sir.
Thy name?
Fidel, sir.
Thou approvest thyself the very same. Thy name befits thy faith thy name. Will you go with me? I cannot say thou shalt be so well mastered, but be sure no less beloved. Come with me.
I'll follow, sir. But first, and please the gods, I'll hide my poor master from the flies, as deep as these poor pickaxes can dig. And with wild wood leaves and weeds I have strewn his grave, and said o'er it a century of prayers. I weep and sigh, and so leaving his service, follow you, so please you entertain me.
Aye, good youth, and rather father thee than master thee. Good friends, the boy hath shown us manly duties. Let us find out the prettiest daisied field, and make him with our pikes and partisans a grave. Be cheerful, wipe thine eyes. Some means are there the happier to arise.
So, Imogen became a page to Caius Lucius, general of the Roman army. The same army that even now marched to wage war against her father, King Cymbeline. And by the next setting sun, the two armies met in a field not far from the forest cave, which Belarius and the two lost princes called home.
The noise is round about us.
Let us from it.
What pleasure, sir, find we in life to lock it from action and adventure?
Nay, what hope have we in hiding us? The Romans must this way and slay us for Britons, or receive us as barbarians and unusual warriors in their due seasons and slay us after.
Sons, we'll hire to the mountains. There secure us. To the king's party there is no going. The newness of Cloten's death, we being not known, not mustered among the bands, may drive us to rinder where we have lived, and thus extort from us that which we have done, whose answer would be to death drawn on with torture.
A doubt in such a time is nothing becoming you nor satisfying us.
It is not likely that when they hear the Roman horses neigh or behold their quartered fires, that they will waste their time upon our note to know from whence we are.
I am known of many in the armies, and besides, the king hath not deserved my service, nor your loves, who find in my exile the want of breeding, the certainty of this hard life.
Then be it so. Better to cease to be prey to the army. I and my brother are not well known, and you yourself being so out of thought and thereby so overgrown cannot be questioned.
By heavens, I'll thither. What is it that I never did see man die? Scarce ever looked on blood, save that of hot goats, coward hares, or venison. I am ashamed to look upon the holy sun, to have the benefit of his blessed beams, remaining so long a poor unknown.
By heavens, I'll go. If you will bless me, sir, and give me leave, I'll take the greater care. But if you will not, the hazard do fall on me by the hand of Romans.
So say I. Amen.
No reason I, since of your lives you set so slight a valuation, I should upon my cracked one reserve more care. Have with you, boys. And if in these country wars you chance to die, that is my bed too, and there I'll lie. Lead. Lead. Time seems long. Their blood thinks scorn, till it fly out and show them princes born.
Not far away, in another section of the battlefield, Posthumus paced uneasily, having arrived to fight with the Roman army on their behalf in the war.
Pisanio, his servant, had sent him a bloody cloth as false proof that Imogen had been murdered, just as he had requested. And as Posthumus was ignorant of Pisanio's ruse, the hastiness of his actions began to resonate with the young man.
Yea, bloody cloth, I'll keep thee, for I wish thou shouldst be colored thus. Oh, Pisanio, every good servant does not all commands. No bonds but to do just ones. You gods, if you had taken vengeance on my life, I never should have lived to take on this. So had you saved the noble Imogen to repent, and struck me, wretch, more worth your vengeance. I'm come hither amongst the Italian gentry to fight against my lady's kingdom. 'Tis enough that, Britain, I have killed thy mistress. Peace. I'll give no wound to thee. I'll disrobe me of these Italian weeds, and come to fight against the part I come with. So I'll die for thee, O Imogen, even for whose my life is every breath of death. And, thus unknown, pitied nor hated, to the face of peril, myself I will dedicate. Gods, put the strength of the Leonati in me.
Great Jupiter be praised! 'Tis that the old man and his sons were angels.
There was a fourth man in a silly habit who made the affront with them.
So 'tis reported, but none of them can be found. Stand, who's there?
A Roman who had not now been drooping here if seconds had answered him.
Lay hands on him. A dog! A leg of Rome shall not return to tell them what crows have pecked them here. He spoke as if his service were of note. Bring him to the king!
So Posthumus, garbed once again in Roman attire, was taken to prison by the British soldiers.
Little did the soldiers know the man they had arrested was the very same man who had so fought valiantly for Britain in the battle.
But Posthumus was not about to tell them so, for he sought death as a means of relieving his heavy heart.
Most noble bondage, for thou art a way, I think, to liberty. You good gods, give me the penitent instrument to pick that bolt, and then free forever. Is it enough I am sorry? For Imogen's dear life, take mine. And though 'tis not so dear, yet 'tis a life, you coined it. So, great powers, if you take this audit, take this life, and cancel these cold bonds. Oh, Imogen, I'll speak to thee in silence.
No more, thou son, the master, show thy spite on mortals' flies. Hath my poor boy done aught but well, whose face I never saw? I died whilst in the womb he stayed, attending nature's law.
Lucina lent me not her aid, yet took me in my throes, that from me was Posthumus ripped, came crying mongst his foes, a thing of pity.
Great nature, like his ancestry, molded the stuff so fair, that he deserved the praise of the world, as great Cecilius' heir.
With marriage wherefore was he mocked, to be exiled and thrown from Leonati's seat, and cast from her his dearest one, sweet Imogen.
Why did you suffer Iachimo, slight thing of Italy, to taint his nobler heart and brain with needless jealousy, and to become the geck and scorn of the other's villainy?
Like hardiment Posthumus hath to Cymbeline performed. Then, Jupiter, thou king of gods, why hast thou thus adjourned? The graces for his merits due being all to dolours turned.
By thy crystal windows ope, look out, no longer exercise upon a valiant race thy harsh and potent injuries.
Since Jupiter, our son, is good, take off his miseries.
Peep through thy marble mansions, help, or we poor ghosts will rise to the shining synod of the rest against thy deity.
Help,
Jupiter, or we appeal, and from thy justice fly.
No more, you petty spirits of region low, offend our hearing. Hush, be content. Your low-laid son, our Godhead, will uplift. His comforts thrive, his trials well are spent. Our jovial star reigned at his birth, and in our temple was he married. He will be lord to Lady Imogen, and happier much by his afflictions made. This tablet lay upon his bed, wherein our pleasure his full fortune doth confine. So away, and no more with your din express impatience, lest you stir up mine.
What fairies haunt this ground? 'Tis still a dream, or else such stuff as madmen tongue and brain not. Be what it is, the action of my life is like it, if I'll take, if but for sympathy.
Come, sir, are you ready for death?
Over roasted, rather, ready long ago.
Hanging's the word, sir. If you be ready for that, you are well cooked.
I am merrier to die, sir, than thou art to live.
Oh, indeed, sir. He that sleeps feels not the toothache, but were he to sleep your sleep, and a hangman there to help him to bed, I think he would change places with his officer. For, look you, sir, you know not which way you shall go.
Yes, indeed do I, fellow.
Oh, your death has eyes in's head, then. I have not yet seen him so pictured. And how you shall speed in your journey's end, I think you'll not return to tell on.
Stand by my side, you whom the gods have made preservers of my throne. Oh, woe is my heart, that the poor soldier that so richly fought cannot be found. He shall be happy that can find him, if my grace can make him so.
He hath been looked for amongst the living and the dead, but no trace of him.
To my grief, I am the heir of his reward. But 'tis now the time to ask of whence you are. We're reported.
Sir, in Cambria are we born, and further to boast we're neither true nor honest, unless I add, we are honest.
I create you companions of our person, and will befit you with honors and becoming your estate. Why look you so sadly upon our victory? You look like a Roman, and not of the court of Britain.
Hail, great king. To sour your happiness, I must report. The queen is dead.
Oh, who worse than a physician would this report become? How ended she?
With horror, madly dying, like her life, which being cruel to the world, concluded most cruel to herself. What she confessed, I will report, so please you. Her lady contrict me if I err, who with wet cheeks were present when she finished.
Prithee, say.
First, she confessed she never loved you. Only affected greatness got by you, not you. Married your royalty, was wife to your place, abhorred your person.
Proceed.
Your daughter, whom she bore in hand to love with such integrity, she did confess was a scorpion to her sight, whose life, but that her flight had prevented it, she had taken off by poison.
Most delicate fiend. Who is it can read a woman? Is there more?
More, sir, and worse. What she did confess for you, she had a mortal mineral, which being took should by the minute feed on life and lingering by inches waste you. In which time she proposed with watching, weeping, tendance, kissing, to overcome you with her show, and in time when she had fitted you with her craft, to work her son into the adoption of the crown. But failing of her end by his strange absence, grew shameless desperate, opened in despite of heaven and men, her purposes. Repented the evils she hatched were not effected, so despairing died.
Heard you all this, her woman?
I did, so please your highness.
Mine eyes were not at fault, for she was beautiful. Mine ears that heard her flattery, nor my heart that thought her like her seeming. It had been vicious to have mistrusted her. Thou comest not, Caius, now for tribute that the Britons have raised out, also with the loss of many a bold one.
Consider, sir, the chance of war. The day was yours by accident. Had it gone with us, we should not, when the blood was cooled, have threatened our enemies with the sword. But since the gods would have it thus, that nothing but our lives may be called ransom, let it come. This one thing only will I entreat. My boy, a Briton born, let him be ransomed. No master hath a page so kind, so duteous, diligent, so tender over his occasion, so true, so feat, so nurse-like. Let his virtues join with my request, which I make bold, your majesty cannot deny. He hath served a Roman, but he hath harmed no Briton. Save him, sir, and spare no blood besides.
I have surely seen him. His favor is familiar to me. Boy, thou hast looked thyself into my grace and art mine own. I know not why, wherefore, to say, live, boy, live, and ask of Cymbeline what boon thou wilt. Fitting my bounty and thy state, I'll give it.
I humbly thank your highness.
Young lad, I do not bid thee beg my life, and yet I know thou wilt.
No, no. Alack, I see a thing as bitter to me as death. Your life, my good master, must shuffle for itself.
The boy disdains me. He leaves me, scorns me. Why stands he so perplexed?
What wouldst thou, boy? I love thee more and more. Think more and more what's best to ask. Knows him thou looked on? Speak. Have him live? Is he thy kin, thy friend?
He is Roman, no more kin to me than I to your highness, who, being born your vassal and something nearer.
Oh, wherefore I asked him so.
I'll tell you, sir, in private, if you'll please to give me hearing.
With all my heart, and lend my best attention. Oh, what's thy name?
Fidel, sir.
Thou art my good youth, my page. I'll be thy master. Walk with me, speak freely.
Is not this boy revived from death?
One sand not resembles more another, that sweet rosy lad that was dead and was Fidel.
Peace, peace. Let's see further. He eyes us not. Were it he, I'm sure he would have spoke with us.
But we saw him dead.
Be silent. Let's see further.
It is my mistress. Since she is living, let the time run on to good or bad.
Come, stand thou by my side. Make thy demand aloud. Sir, step you forth. And give answer to this boy, and do it freely, or by our greatness or the grace of it, which is our honor, bitter torture will winnow the truth from falsehood. Speak to him.
My boon is that this gentleman may render of whom he had this ring.
That diamond upon your finger, say, how came it yours?
Thou torture me to leave unspoken that which to be spoke would torture thee.
How? Me?
I am glad to be constrained to utter that which torments me to conceal. Through villainy I got this ring. 'Twas Leonatus' jewel, whom thou didst banish. Ever a nobler sir did live twixt sky and ground. Wilt thou hear more, my lord?
All that belongs to this.
That paragon, thy daughter, for whom my heart drips
My
blood.
daughter? What of her?
Upon a time in Rome, the good Posthumus, sitting sadly, hearing us praise our loves of Italy, for they made barren the swelled boast
I
of him.
stand on fire. Come to the matter.
All too soon I shall, unless thou wouldst grieve quickly. And this Posthumus, most like a noble lord in love, and one that hath a royal lover. Well, he takes his hints, and, well, not dispraising whom we praise, therein he was as calm as virtue. He began his mistress' picture, which by his tongue being made, and then a mind put in it, either outbribes or craft, a kitchen troll.
Nay, to the purpose.
Your daughter's chastity, there it begins. He spake of her as though Diane had hot dreams, and she alone were cold, and I, wretch, made scruple of his praise, and wagered with him pieces of gold against this, which he wore on his honored finger, to win, in sooth, the place of his bed, and win this ring with hers and mine adultery. He, the truer knight, no lesser confident of her honor than I truly did find her, he stakes this ring. So away to Britain I post in this design. Well may you, sir, remember me in court, where I learned of your chaste daughter the wide difference twixt amorous and villainous. Well, this satisfied of hope, not longing, mine Italian brain gan in your duller Britain. Well, to be brief, my practice so prevailed that I returned with proof enough to make the noble Leonatus mad by wounding his belief in her renown. I had tokens thus, and thus. These, averting notes of chamber hangings, pictures, this, her bracelet, how cunning that I got it, but, nay, and marks of secret on her person, that, he could not but think that her bond of chastity was quite cracked, and that I had taken the forfeit, and, I think I see him now.
Aye, so thou dost, Italian fiend. I am Posthumus, that killed thy daughter. Villain like I lie, that caused a lesser villain than myself. A sacrilegious thief to do it. A temple of virtue was she. Spit and throw stones. Cast mire upon me. Every dog in the street be set to bay me. Every villain be called Posthumus Leonatus, and be it less than it was. Oh, Imogen, my queen, my life, my wife.
Peace, my lord, here!
Oh, does the world go round?
How come these staggers on me?
How fair is thy mistress? Oh, get thee from my sight! Thou gavest me poison, dangerous fellow, hence breathe not where princes are.
Lady, the gods throw stones of sulfur on me if that box I gave you was not thought by me a precious thing. I had it from the queen.
It poisoned me.
Oh, gods! Oh, gods! I forgot one thing which the queen confessed, which must approve the honest. If Bassanio have, said she, given his mistress that confection which I gave him for cordial, she has served as I would serve a rat.
What's this, Cornelius?
The queen, sir, very oft importuned me to temper poisons for her, still pretending the satisfaction of her knowledge only in killing creatures vile as cats and dogs, of no esteem. I, dreading that her purpose was of more danger, did compound for her a certain stuff which, being taken, would cease the present power of life. But in short time, all offices of nature should again do their due functions. Have you taken of it?
Most like I did, for I was dead.
Boys, there was our error.
This is sure Fidel.
Why did you throw your wedded lady from you?
Hang there, like a fruit, my soul till the tree die.
How now, my flesh, my child, wilt thou not speak to me?
Your blessing, sir.
My tears that fall prove holy water on thee. Oh, Imogen, thy mother's dead.
I'm very sorry for it, my lord.
Oh, she was not. And long of her do we meet strangely here. But her son is gone. We know not how nor where.
My lord, now I'll speak troth. Lord Cloten, upon my lady's missing, came to me, foamed at the mouth, with sword drawn, and swore, if I discovered not which way she was gone, it was my instant death. By accident had a feigned letter of my master's then in my pocket, which directed him to seek her on the mountains near to Milford, where, in a frenzy, in my master's garments, which he enforced from me, away he posts with unchaste purpose, and with oath to violate my lady's honor. What became of him, I further know not.
Let me end the story. I slew him there.
Marry the gods forfend. I would not thy good deed should from my lips pluck a hard sentence. Oh, prithee, valiant youth, deny it again.
I have spoke it, and I did it.
He was a prince.
Not a great one. The wrongs he did me were nothing princely. He provoked me with language would make me spurn the sea if it could so scorn me. I am right glad he's not here to tell this tale of mine.
I am sorry for thee. By thine own tongue thou art condemned and must endure our law.
That headless man I thought had been my lord.
Find the offender, take him from our presence.
Stay, Sir King. This man is better than the man he slew, as well descended as thyself, and more deserving of thy merit than a band of gluttons hath scar for. Leave his arms alone. They were not born for bondage.
Why, old man, wilt thou undo the worth thou art unpaid for by tasting of our wrath? How of descent as good as we?
In that he spake too far.
And thou shalt die for it.
We will die all three. But first I will prove that 2 alms are as good as I have given out him. My sons, I must, for mine own part, unfold a dangerous speech. But happily, well for you. By leave, you had, great king, a subject who was called Belarius.
What of him? He was a banished traitor.
He it is that hath attained this age, indeed, a banished man. I know not how a traitor.
Take him hence. The whole world will not save him.
Not so hot. First, pay me for the nursing of thy sons, and let it be all confiscate after, once I have received it. These 2 young gentlemen who call me father and think they are my sons are none of mine. They are the issue of your loins, my liege, and the blood of your begetting.
How? My issue?
As sure as you your fathers. I, old Morgan, am that Belarius whom you sometime banished. Your pleasure was my mere offense, my punishment itself, and all my treason. That I suffered was all the harm I did. These 2
Princely gentlemen, for such and so they are, these 20 years have I brought up. Their nurse Euryphile stole them upon my banishment. I moved her to it. Beaten for loyalty excited me to treason. The more their dear loss was felt by you, the more it moved unto my end of stealing them. But, gracious Lord, here are your sons again, and I must lose the two sweetest companions in the world. The benediction of the covering heavens fall on their heads like dew, for they are worthy to inlay heaven with stars.
Thou speakst and weeps. The service that you three have done is more unlike than this thou tellst. I lost my children. I mean, if this be they, I know not how to wish a pair of worthier sons.
Be pleased a while. This young gentleman, whom I call Polydor, most worthy prince as yours is true Guiderius. This young gentleman, my Cadwal, Arviragus, your younger princely son.
Guiderius had upon his neck a mole, a sanguine star. It was a mark of wonder.
And this is he who still has upon him that natural stamp. It was wise nature's end in the donation to be his evidence now.
What am I, mother to the birth of three? Never been mother, and rejoice deliverance more. Oh, Imogen, thou hast by this lost a kingdom.
No, my lord, I have gained 2 worlds by it. Oh, my gentle brothers, have we thus met? Oh, ne'er say but I am truest speaker. You called me brother. When I was but your sister, I you brothers, when you were so indeed.
Did you e'er meet?
Aye, my good lord.
And at first meeting, loved and continued until we thought she died.
Oh, rare instinct. When shall I hear more? How lived you? When came you to serve the Roman captives? And how parted from your brothers? How met them? Why fed you from the court? But nor the time nor place will serve our long interrogatories. The Posthumous anchors on Imogen, and she, like harmless lightning, throws her eye on him. Let's quit this ground and smoke the temples with our sacrifice. All our joys, save these in bonds, well, let them be joyful too, for they shall taste all comfort.
My good master, I will yet do you service.
Bless you, youth.
Oh, the forlorn soldier that so nobly fought, he would well have become this place and graced the thankings of a king.
I am, sir, that soldier that did company these 3 in poor beseeming. 'Twas a fitment for the purpose I then followed. That I was he. Speak, Iachimo, I had you down and might have made you finish.
And I am down again. But it is my heavy conscience that sinks my knee, as then your force did. Take that life, I beseech ye, which I so often owe. But first, your ring, and the bracelet of the truest princess that ever swore her faith.
Kneel not to me. The malice that I have on you is to spare you, the power over you, to forgive you, live, and deal with others better.
Nobly doomed, we'll learn our freeness of a son-in-law. Pardons the word to all.
Good my lord of Rome, call forth your soothsayer. While I slept, methought great Jupiter appeared to me with other sprightly shows of mine own kindred. When I waked, I found this label near my bosom, which is so from sense in hardness I can make no collection of it. Let her show the sense in the construction.
Soothsayer,
Here, my good lord.
read and declare the meaning.
When as a lion's whelp shall, to himself unknown, without seeking find, and be embraced by a piece of tender air, and when from a stately cedar shall be lopped branches, which being dead many years, shall after revive, be jointed to the old stock, and freshly grow. Then shall Posthumus end his miseries, Britain be fortunate and flourish in peace and plenty.
thou, Leonatus, art the lion's whelp, a fit and apt construction of thy name. The piece of tender air, thy virtuous daughter, and the lofty cedar, royal Cymbeline, personates thee. And thy lopped branches point thy two sons forth, who, by Valerius stolen, for many years thought dead, are now revived, to the majestic cedar joined, whose issue promises Britain peace and plenty.
Well, my peace we will begin. And Caius Lucius, although the victor, we submit to Caesar and to the Roman Empire, promising to pay the wonted tribute, from the which we were dissuaded by our wicked queen, whom heavens, in justice both on her and hers, have laid most heavy hand.
The fingers of the powers above do tune the harmony of this peace. For the vision I made known to Lucius, ere the stroke of this yet scarce cold battle, is at this instant full accomplished. For the Roman eagle, from south to west, on wings soaring aloft, lessened herself, and in the beams of the sun, so vanished, which foreshowed our princely eagle, the imperial Caesar, should again unite his favor with the radiant Cymbeline, which shines here in the west.
Lord we the gods!
And let the crooked smokes climb to their nostrils from our blessed altars.
Publish we this peace to all our subjects.
Let a British and a Roman ensign wave friendly together.
So, through Ludstown march,
And in the temple of great Jupiter our peace will ratify.
never was a war did cease, ere bloody hands were washed with such a peace.